Hey guys, welcome to this creative finance series. This is going to be a series maybe between 5 to 7 videos explaining how you can use this only strategy that can allow you to build a rental portfolio and never use none of your own money, never use none of your own credit. You don't need a job, you don't need credentials. Like if you were to go and buy the traditional way, walk into Wells Fargo, you have to, show your pay stubs and all these things, right? So why should you listen to me? Because I've used the same strategy to build my whole rental portfolio, which is over dozens of properties that at some point was valued 6 million and up in terms of the value of the properties. I am downsizing because my team and I, we are getting out of the single family game, but this is the exact strategy that I've used to build my portfolio from the beginning, right? And I've never used none of my own money, no credit, no credentials, okay? So that's the reason why, if you wonder why you should listen to me, but today, we're gonna start with the strategy called seller finance. That's the strategy we're gonna start with today, and I'm gonna break down for you guys what seller finance exactly means and how can you use it to buy your first rental, okay? So the first myth I wanna get rid of, guys, is can you buy real estate with absolutely zero money? That is a myth. You cannot buy real estate using zero money at all. That is a myth, all right? Now, can you buy a property without using none of your own money? Can you buy real estate without using none of your own money? Yes, you can absolutely do so, and that's exactly what I'm gonna explain here. So even when you buy a property this way, using seller finance, even if, let's say hypothetically, you don't put anything down, you don't use anybody else's money that we call private money, and I'm gonna get into details how that works. Well, let's say the seller is financing you the home and you don't have to put anything down. Guess what? That seller still use their equity to finance the money you would have to put down, right? So there is money that still got put down on the deal. It's just not your own money and nobody else's money, but the seller decided to just, hey, don't give me zero down. I'm gonna finance you the property, give me zero down. So basically they use their equity to finance you, right? So they came out of their equity in order for you to be financed, right? So that's the first myth, guys. So you can use none of your own money, but you cannot buy real estate without using money. That's impossible, okay? So the strategy we're talking about today, guys, is seller finance, okay? Like I said again, you don't need none of these things. So that get rid of all the excuses that you may have to not start your real estate journey today, okay? Now, what is seller finance? Let's talk about seller finance. So this is the strategy we're gonna start with, guys. Seller finance, okay? Seller finance is very literal. Guys, in real estate, all your deals, the best deals you'll ever get, will always come from deals that you found off market. What does that mean? That means you're not going on Zillow, you're not going on the MLS, you're not going through a realtor to buy the property. So all of my rental portfolio, we bought it off market direct to seller. So we're calling motivated sellers through different avenues. Some of them we text them, some of them we cold call them, some of them we put vendor signs and they call us, right? But it's off market direct to the owner of the property, and we negotiate directly with them so we can get way better terms. And if you call a seller, a homeowner that have some sort of motivation to sell their home, obviously we call that a seller. So here we have the seller that have a home, and for whatever reason, right, they want to sell this home, whatever their motivation is. It could be money, it could be downsizing, it could be that somebody passed away, right? So they have a home, they're looking to sell it, so they are the seller, right? So seller finance is a strategy that is very literal, right? So you're talking to somebody who has a home and they're looking to sell it. Now, in order for seller finance to work, okay, they have to own the property free and clear. That means they cannot have a debt, they cannot have a loan on the property, they cannot owe Wells Fargo or Chase, right? If that's the case, that will become a subject to deal, which is the next video, okay? Here we're talking about the seller finance. So let's say you call in a seller off market on 123 Main Street. We're gonna call the seller Antoinette, right? Antoinette owns the property on 123 Main Street, and that property, let's say, is worth $200,000, and Antoinette owes zero to the bank, okay? So she wants to sell the property, whatever her motivation is. She's looking to downsize, she's looking to move out of state, it doesn't really matter, right? She said, Mamadou, I'm gonna sell you the home and I don't owe anything to Wells Fargo or nobody else. That means she owns the property free and clear, and this property is valued at $200,000. Guys, in real estate, we call this ARV, okay? We call this ARV. This is what we call it, right? So let's say the house is valued at 200K, boom, boom. The house is valued at $200,000 and she owes zero to anybody. That means Antoinette have what we call 100% equity, okay? She have 100% equity. What does that mean? Equity, guys, is the amount of money that Antoinette, if she were to list the home with a real estate agent and she sells it after all the fees, the commissions, which goes to the real estate agents, and then the closing cost. After that, on average, in real estate, it costs about 8% to sell a home, and that costs the homeowner that is selling the property is the one who pays it, right? So after that 8%, whatever is left from the $200,000 will go into Antoinette's pockets. So the net profits that she get, we call that equity. So in this scenario here, technically, because she's selling it off market, obviously there is no real estate agents involved. We agree. There is no real estate agents if you're direct to seller. So you're dealing with the seller directly, right? So that means she's paying 0 commissions. Right? So when you as an investor, you're buying real estate, typically you pay the closing costs when you're buying it off market, okay? If you're confused about this concept, make sure you check out my playlist on real estate for beginners, okay? So now she has $200,000 technically in equity. So you go, you know what, Antoinette, I know you want to sell your home because you don't want to deal with it anymore, but you don't owe anything to anybody. You don't want to be a landlord. You don't want to keep it and deal with tenants and toilet leaks. You already have your job. You have your 9 to 5, whatever the case may be, but you don't want to deal with this real estate anymore. I'm going to buy it from you, but guess what? I don't want to walk into Wells Fargo and borrow a $200,000 just to pay you off, right? Nobody makes money other than the bank at that point. How about you, Antoinette? How about I raise you? How about I upgrade you? Okay, this is how we pitch it to the seller. How about I make you my bank? So I'm gonna upgrade Antoinette, who's the seller here. I'm gonna upgrade her, sorry for my ugly drawing. I'm gonna upgrade her to my bank. I'm gonna say, Antoinette, I'm gonna give you the full $200,000 on paper. So we're gonna sign a contract, okay? I'm gonna give you the full $200,000 that you're asking for. Mind you, Antoinette, if you were to list this property on the MLS, you wouldn't walk away with $200,000. Why? Because one, you have to pay the commissions. Then you have to pay the closing costs. Then after that, you potentially have to pay Uncle Sam, so taxes, depending if this was a rental or a primary residence, right? So by the time she's done, she's probably, if she lists it on the market and sell it, she would be left with maybe like $140,000, $160,000, right? So here I am overpaying the property $40,000, okay? So I'm overpaying the property $40K as long as Antoinette is willing to become my bank. If she's willing to become my bank, I will overpay for the property $40,000. How am I overpaying? I'm overpaying because on paper, on this contract, I am giving her the full $200,000. She's getting full asking. I'm not arguing with her. And then I'm saying, Antoinette, I am going to upgrade you to the bank, right? Obviously, she's going to be on the top of the totem pole. As you guys know, the banks, they're not into real estate, they're into lending for good reasons. That's the position everybody want to be. Everybody wants to be the bank. Why? Because the bank have the best positions ever, they have the most money, right? So what I'm gonna do is, Antoinette, I am going to give you a small down payment, which we've done a tons of this, guys. Trust me, this is not rare. So I'm going to give you, let's say for example, $10,000. I'm gonna give you $10,000, and then you're going to finance me the remaining $190,000. Okay, so we're gonna create what we call a note, guys. We're gonna create what we called a promissory note with Antoinette. So the attorney, when we open escrow, obviously, guys, you guys know real estate, we close it with title companies or real estate attorneys, depending if you're in a title company state or an attorney state, okay? So we're gonna draft what we call a promissory note on Antoinette's name, okay? I'm keeping this really simple, guys, for just simplicity purposes, okay? The attorney is going to draft a promissory note on Antoinette's name saying Mamadou, right, owes Antoinette $190,000 on 123 Main Street, and then let's say I negotiated with Antoinette that she's financing me this home for, let's say, 10 years. She's financing me that amount for 10 years for me to pay her off, and every single month, because she's my bank now, guess who I'm sending a check to every single month? I'm sending a check to Antoinette. Let's say she says, okay, Mamadou, I'll do so because you're overpaying for the property. You're giving me $40,000 more. I don't have to deal with the property anymore. You'll deal with the headaches. You own it. If there's a code violation, if somebody passed away in the property, if you have a tenant and they don't pay, I don't care. Why? Because I'm the bank, right? I'm just the bank, right? So I'm gonna finance it you, and every single month, I want you to send me $800. Every single month, I want a check of $800 in my mail from you, Mamadou, from the remaining $190,000 that I financed you, okay? What's gonna happen is this, guys. I am going, let's say hypothetically now, I go on the market and I look at the rental. Remember, we're investors here. I look at the rental potential income. Let's say I find out I can rent it for $1,500, right? Boom, $1,500. If I'm only giving her $800, right? $800, that's $900, that's $1,000. That is $700 gross. $700 gross, what we call cash flow for me every single month. I'll do this deal all day long, right? So I'm not giving her the full $200,000 up front. That means I don't have to walk into Wells Fargo, show my bank statement, show my credit, none of that. Why? Because Antoinette is my bank. She don't want to check my credit. She doesn't care. All she needs to know is I am credible. I'm going to make the payments even if the tenant defaults. And then she's protected because the attorney draft what we call the promissory note. All that means is Mamadou promised to pay back Antoinette $190,000 that she financed him and based on these terms that they agreed upon, which is 10 years, and Mamadou's gonna pay on time every single month, $800 to Antoinette, okay? That's it. So every single month I'm paying her, and then I'm making $700 cash flow gross. When I say gross, guys, this is before expenses. When you own a rental property, you need to know there is expenses like vacancy, right? So your tenant can vacate the property and you need another month or two in order to find a new tenant. We call that vacancy. Obviously, you have repairs that comes up. The water heater can go off, the AC unit can go off, tenants can break stuff, right? So you have to put money on the side every single month for that. Repairs. So vacancy, repairs, maintenance, you gotta pay utilities, all these things, right? So let's say after all of that, I am netting, let's say hypothetically, I am netting $400 per month. The net is what I can spend. The net cash flow is what I can take, buy my daughters whatever I want. I can buy food from it. I can treat myself. That's the net. That's what I can spend. The gross, there's a reason it's called gross. It's disgusting. Why is it disgusting? Because I cannot spend it. I can only spend the net cash flow. Right? So here Antoinette became my bank. She financed me, and then the $10,000. Now you're asking yourself, yeah, Mamadou, this is great, but she said she wants $10,000 upfront to make sure I have skin in the game. By the way, guys, there is a couple of properties that we've bought, and I have friends of mine that bought a bunch of properties, right? Where the seller said, give me 0% down. Nothing down. But for this example, for the purpose for this example, I'm giving an example of where we're giving a down payment of $10,000, which is not a lot and it happens all the time, right? So $10,000, Mamadou, I don't have the money. I don't have the $10,000. Where do I get that money? That's where we use what we call OPM, okay? So we use other people's money. We call this people private lenders. This is where me, Mamadou, I go into my circle of network. I go to my cousins, my brother, maybe a nurse that I know, maybe somebody, a colleague that I used to work with. They're still working their 9 to 5. They have savings, but guess what? They would love to be in real estate, but they don't have the time to find the deals. I say, hey, John, we're good friends, right? I have a property here where a seller is financing me the home. The house is worth $200,000. She's asking me $10,000 up front. I am going to cash flow every single month, $700 gross, okay? Would you lend me $10,000, maybe 15? Why 15? Because guys, remember, if I give the seller $10,000, I still, the buyer, have to cover the closing costs. There is closing costs always involved in a real estate transaction. That will cost me between $3,000 to $5,000 depending which state I'm closing in. Okay guys, so $15,000 and I'm going to give you a return of, let's say, 10% on that $15,000. How many people you guys know that have $5, $10, $15, $20,000 laying down in the savings account earning 0.0 nothing? A bunch. This is how I bought my whole portfolio. A bunch. My DMs right now, Instagram, TikTok is full of people telling me, Mamadou, I have 15,000, I have 10,000, I have 5,000, I have 50,000. It's not doing anything. I would love to invest with you in your real estate deals. So the money is there. You already have it on your phone. All you have to do is to build a relationship with the people you already know. Not only that, also tell people what you're doing. People need to know that you're real estate. People need to know that you find properties. Okay? So that's how you cover the $15,000 up front. So now So Mamadou, because I went to John to get my $15,000, guys, guess what? I am zero money out of pocket. Me, Mamadou, I spent zero of my own money into the deal. John is the one who gave me the $15,000. I'm giving him a return on this on a yearly basis, 10%. And now I got a property that I didn't have to qualify for with a bank. I didn't have to show my credit, none of that. The seller is my bank, okay? Not only that, the money that I had to bring to the table to get into the deal for that property to become mine now, guess what? It came from John. And now my net worth just went up $200,000 from zero. I was worth zero. Now my net worth is $200,000 in assets, okay? This is in assets, not liquid. Assets, why? Because it's on the home, right? And I spend zero of my own money. So my return outside of the sweat equity that I put in, obviously to find Antoinette, find a motivated seller, negotiate with her, follow up with her, all these things, outside of that sweat equity effort, guess what, guys? My return on the money is infinite. Why is it infinite? Because it's not my money. I spend zero. And every month I'm making $400. Even if I'm making $200, my return is still infinite. Okay, guys? So this is seller finance, guys. This is one of the strategies that we use in creative finance to buy properties is we turn the sellers into the bank, and there is a tons of them that will 100% finance you their home as long as you're willing to give them the price that they're asking. And typically these kind of people, they're financially savvy. They're just married to a number. They just want the purchase price that they want, right? They want the full value of their property. They know the value of money, so they know about inflation, for example. They know if I sell this home right now, I don't have nothing to invest in. I don't invest in stocks. I don't want to be a landlord, so I don't want to deal with the real estate. If I get this money right now, I'm probably going to end up wasting it anyway, right? So they know that. They know about taxes. If I get this money, Uncle Sam is coming for half of it anyway. So why not let this money work for me, and I don't have to deal with the headache that comes with owning the real estate? And they will just come to the bank. Dozens of them. Actually, not even dozens, guys. People, like millions of these kind of transactions happen every single day. So this is what we call seller finance, guys. And remember, seller finance only works if the seller owns the property free and clear. So guys, let me know if you got any value out of this video. If anything you want me to re-clarify or explain and expand on, leave a comment below. Let me know. I promise I'll make a video to answer your question. Not only that, look out for the second video. We're going to talk about subject to deals. Like the video, obviously, help the algorithm. If you're getting any value out of this channel, share it so that other people also can learn from this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay bold and be bold. Boom, boom, boom.